Hello, and welcome to this AMA on how to land your first data science job. Today, we are talking to Nishant Poddar. Nishant is, first of all, a friend. We've known each other for over 7 or 8 months now. Nishant has been an active member of the Jovian community, and Nishant is a data engineer at Solita in Estonia. Welcome, Nishant, and thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you, Akash, for having me here. Thanks for a short introduction about me. I'm Nishant, and I'm currently working for Solita, which is a data-driven company in 6 locations in Europe. And I'm working as a data engineer in the company. Have started working in this month, and it's been like now a 4-week journey till now. And I'm really enjoying this journey so far.
Okay, yeah, great. So Nishant, we are having this conversation primarily, just once to get to know your journey, because I have been following it for quite a few months, but I think it has had many interesting twists and turns. And we think that this conversation is also going to be helpful for a lot of people who are thinking about moving to data science, who are considering a switch, and who want to know how to make that transition. So what we'll do is over the course of an hour or so, we will, I have a few questions listed out. So I will go over those questions. But since this is also an AMA or Ask Me Anything, we will also take questions from the audience. So maybe we can pause once around the 30-minute mark, take a few questions, and then towards the end, we will take some more questions from the audience too.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. And for the audience, if you have any questions for Nishant or for me as well, please feel free to post them in the YouTube chat. If you're watching a recording, you can post a question in the comments and we'll make sure that we get the answers to your question. So with that, Nishant, the first thing, I guess, before we talk about data science and data engineering, I would love to understand is what was your journey like before you got into data science? So can you just give us a little bit of a background about where you're from, what your journey was like?
So basically, my journey began in the data science around 9 months ago, and I was previous joining to Solita. I was already working for an IoT company in Estonia. So basically, we were like what we were doing was that we were like providing the network for the IoT sensors so that they can talk to each other and over the air. So I had already like got an interest in the data science when I was working in the IoT sector, but I was not working on the application side of the data. So that was like something which was missing in my in my professional career. So but I was always trying to like hard to like learn by myself, and this is how like a long journey, but it really paid me off today. So in a nutshell, like if I say, yeah.
And what were you doing before that, before you were working in IoT?
Before that, I mean, I was like a student in Estonia. I was doing this master in software engineering from University of Tartu. So I got interested in this data science when I took this thesis topic from my university, and the thesis topic was about like comparing the IoT, the network in Estonia. So I did a comparison of LP1, which is low power wide area network, IoT network in Estonia, and that got me into the data science, like really like into it. So this is how I began my journey in the data science. Yeah, and luckily, what happened was that after my completion of my my master thesis, I got like really good accreditation from the university, and then later I published research paper on it. So that gave me a really moral boost, like get into data science and pursue ahead.
Yeah. That's very interesting to know that you were able to publish your master thesis work. So you went to Estonia for pursuing a master's in, this was master's in computer science?
This was master's in software engineering, and this program is run by University of Tartu, so which is one of the prestigious university in Europe. The department itself has like a ranking of 200 under 250 in the whole world. So it's quite like really competitive to get into the university. But yeah, some hard work, some somewhere like it paid me off and got me into this university.
So that's very interesting. And what was maybe just a very brief overview of what was your journey before you came to university in Estonia? What was that like?
Before that, I was working in IBM. I worked in IBM for almost like 1.5 years before starting my master's program. So I was in IBM. I was like doing the work related to the data center virtualization. So I was already like familiar with the data science data virtualization concepts. So yeah. So, and before that, like in India, I did my bachelor's in computer science from VTU, which is like a state university in Karnataka, Vishwesvaraya Technical University. So yeah.
Okay, great. So it's been a very interesting journey. You started out with a bachelor's in Karnataka, and then you worked at IBM for some time. Then you went to university in Estonia and worked in IoT, and then you took a self-taught journey into data science.
Exactly.
Some time back. So this is then maybe this is the next thing we can touch on. So I know that data has been there in all the different things that you had been doing, a little bit in your IBM work and a little bit in your masters. But at what point did you get that interest, and what point did you start feeling that maybe I should pursue this field? And also maybe a little bit about the why of it. Why did you feel like I should get into this?
So I mean, when I was working in IoT sector, so I already like got a lot of like requests for data visualization about the IoT sensors from different companies which we are working on. So that intrigued me like to move ahead and like make a transition into data science. And like when I was working with my thesis topic, it was like a mix of embedded engineering and data science. So always like data science has been like the part beside me like when I was working. So I thought like why not like give a shot and like make career into the data science. And thanks to like all the mentors who had helped me in this journey, and without them, I mean, I would not be here right now.
Great. So I think this is a very interesting thing that we find. A lot of people that even I talk to, we find that whatever work they're doing, data is somewhere always lurking around the corner.
Exactly.
And you finish whatever work you do, whether it is software development or IoT or sometimes even completely unrelated fields. And you find that ultimately you end up with a good set of data. And then the moment you want to ask questions about that data, you feel like, okay, if I could only ask certain questions, if I could only visualize it, if I could only do certain thing. And that is where data science comes into picture. And it's becoming so relevant across so many industries, right? I mean, I can in finance, in medicine, in IoT, in software engineering, of course, in governance even, and all sorts of areas. So that's very interesting. I think everybody has their own unique path into figuring out that they want to pursue this. And with that, I just want to understand what was your journey like the moment that you decided, you were working in this company, you were working on IoT, and you decided that I want to learn data science. What was the first thing you did, and what was the journey you followed from there?
The first journey, the first step, what I did was like I started like doing my own small projects. So the small projects as in like building small like scrappers, okay, some kind of Python automation tools like on my laptop. So and then playing with the data what I was gathering to the IoT sensors like temperature, humidity sensor. These like are like really minute data, but they're like over when you like club it together, then they give you a really good picture about like everything. So that like got me into like into the data science, and I got more further interested into this like exploring this field. And over the point, like I was just like trying to like learn by myself. Like I told you, like I started everything by myself. Like I did not took the university courses, and then over the point, like I was like trying to like find out something, and then this headline came to me. Jovian has this kind of program called Zero to Pandas, and well, I did that course, which is by you, and then I never stopped from there. Like I like kept going, and like I kept like exploring more into this data science, and then learning more and more technologies in this field.
Great. Well, I'm very happy to hear that your first like serious foray into it was through Zero to Pandas. We are very happy to learn that. I think one very interesting point that you brought up, that even before you had taken any courses or completed any program, you got some data and then you just tried to analyze it. So you just tried to do your own mini
Yeah,
project, and I think that's a very relevant thing because uh, especially with data science, there are so many resources out there. There's so many data sets out there. There are so many programs out there. It can be quite intimidating as a beginner. And one thing that I think helps people is if they pick like a certain problem statement or a topic that they want to pursue and just learn enough to build something out of it, like do a small visualization, do a little bit of analysis, maybe write a little blog post. That really boosts your morale, right? That I can get this going. So I just want to understand from you, um, what was your learning process like? Like initially, were you doing tutorials, or did you decide that I'm going to do a certain course and only then I'm going to build a project? Or what was that? What was that process like of the material that you used to learn data
so
science?
the first objective for me was to like build up my portfolio in the data science, okay, because I was lacking like many projects in my resume. So first what I did was like completed the beginner level courses like on Coursera from Jovian platform, okay. And then after that, I got substantial knowledge about the data science. I got like skill sets. Then I started exploring different data sets from the Kaggle, from different sources, and then like I started publishing my work on the Jovian platform, and then like started like writing a little bit about it over the time. I was also like putting some of my posts on the LinkedIn, so that got me like kind of attention in the job market here. And then like, yeah, things like kept going from there. Yeah.
So uh, I think the couple of things that I want to dig deeper there. One was
Mhm.
that you had the insight that you should be doing projects. I know a lot of people often ask me the question, which courses should I take for data science? And I often reply with saying that it doesn't matter which courses you take, but
Yeah.
the projects that you build are what matter. So maybe I would love to hear your perspective on why you felt that projects are important.
Projects are important because it like validates what you have learned, and what see, it's not like you start with like learning something really pandas or something. You just take small data set from anywhere, okay, and try to like plot something over this Excel. It could be like an Excel project, because at the end of the day, what matters is like you are like progressing in your learning phases. So these are
Yeah.
like a small steps. If you take it like one by one, ultimately you will reach to in a point like you will be really confident and move like your skill sets to a further level. So that's what I did. When I was doing this thesis project, so I did not had a knowledge about pandas, matplot, and all these libraries. So what I did was like I took all the data, clubbed it together, and then plotted everything, the graph, everything on Excel. So but now when I look right now, okay, wish I had the knowledge of pandas, matplot, and seaborn, all these libraries. I could have like made more visualization and impacted more in the my thesis. But yeah, take a small project like it can be like anything. Like we have like right now we are living in a pandemic. Take a data set of the COVID. Okay, just like try to analyze what it is, and then eventually you will like have a confidence over it, and then you will like build up your portfolio. That's how you build your portfolios. Take small projects, make it bigger, and then add more technical things into it, and then eventually you will have a bigger portfolio to show to the recruiter and talk about it confidently.
Okay, so that's again an interesting thing that you mentioned, is that having a portfolio of projects that you have and that you can talk about is a very important thing. And I think this is great advice that you should take courses and tutorials, but just watching a video is not going to give you that skill. To really
Yeah.
learn that skill, you have to build a project. And in some sense, you can also use projects and problem statements to structure your learning. Like you had a certain data set in your master's thesis, and then once you did some visualizations in Excel, then you felt like, okay, this is not powerful enough. I need to
Yeah.
learn something more powerful. And now you had a good reason to pursue, let's say, the Zero to Pandas course. right? And that also keeps you motivated because you know what outcome you want to get out of it, and you know what you know how it is going to help you. So I think that's great advice, that work on projects, and your projects can be as small as you want.
As
Your
small
projects
as
can be,
simple, keep it simple.
yeah.
That's a one line advice I can give you.
Yeah. Like a simple thing that you can do in a few hours. And then once you're done with a few hour project, maybe do a project which takes a few days, maybe take a bigger data set, then maybe pick some other library or some other topic or some other, maybe like you've done data analysis, maybe try a machine learning project,
Yeah,
etc. Right?
yeah.
Okay, great. So now, can you talk a little bit about what the timeline for you looked like when you decided that you want to pursue data science? Did you quit your job immediately, or did you first take some courses to just understand what this field is like? Did you survey some job opportunities? What was that process for you like?
So, I did not quit my job till the time I got employed by another Solita. So I was like still in my job, but in my free time, I was like always putting effort in my learning, things. And then whenever I had a time, like after the my working times, I was like putting more effort into building some small projects that I was like working on, and then like finishing some courses over the Jovian or Coursera. So that kind of like gave me enough of like confidence to like apply for jobs in Estonia or elsewhere.
Okay, so I think that's what we're learning here, is that you don't necessarily need to quit your job and join a full-time
Absolutely
program,
not. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of great resources out there. And if you have decided that, okay, these are the 3 or 4 projects that you should be building, let's say you know that I should build a data analysis project, I should build a data visualization project, and I should build a machine learning project. So in your free time, you can plan out your learning and you can pick the right courses to take. And you
Yeah.
can just focus on maybe every month getting one project out or something like that, right? So what was that timeline for you? What was the length of the duration from you start
For
deciding that
me,
I want to prepare
yeah,
to getting
for me,
hired?
it has been like it took me a little bit longer because I was working. I was plus I was like studying by myself. So it took me around like 7, I would say 8 months to like get into the phase where when I was like really getting the uh, replies from the recruiter. Because initial days it was like really stressful because I was like approaching the recruiter, and the second day I was getting the rejection. But I took those rejection as a positive way because like all those rejection taught me so many things. Like and so timeline has been like really for me it was like around like 8 or 9 months to get into the data science proper data science job. Yeah.
Okay, so from
And
eight or nine
definitely
months, yeah.
I will
Sorry.
just also add one more thing. The timeline has been like more because we were like living in the pandemic, and the hiring process was really slow in Estonia and other countries.
Yep. Yeah, that is true. In fact, I think the last year, especially with the lockdown and a lot of
Yeah.
companies going into hiring freeze, that especially would have been a slightly difficult time. So it was about an 8 month period. And I think you just mentioned that initially you did apply immediately as soon, or maybe after a couple of months after of learning, you did start applying, but you were getting a lot of rejections. But then over time, you did certain things, and those rejections started changing into shortlists or interviews.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
maybe let's go over that step by step process. So what happened between you applying and getting rejected the next day to you applying and hearing back positively? What was it that changed in that process?
So when I was applying and I was getting the rejection, the next thing what I was doing was like I was approaching the recruiter to give me the personal feedbacks. Because oftentimes like we see that like we apply to the job and then next day we get the rejection and then the communication breaks down. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would like I really advise everyone, like if you have got the rejection today, approach the like a recruiter and asking like what were the shortfalls that happened, like why did I not got selected, okay, for at least for an interview or for the next round. and then those detailed feedback will really help you to, like, improve your next interviews or next application process. So that was like one thing what I did. And then what I also did was, like, whenever I was approaching the recruiter, I made sure, like, I added that recruiter on my LinkedIn or any networking social media, so that at least I can, like, be in the touch with the recruiter for like prolonged period. So that was something which I did it during my time, and it
Great.
helped me.
So asking for feedback every time you face a rejection, that seems like a very useful thing to have, because otherwise you're just shooting in the dark and making the same mistakes
Yeah.
again and again, right?
Yeah.
If you don't mind, would you like to share some of the feedback? Like, what was some initial feedback that you got and how did you work upon it?
So, there was there's one company which I applied for, and it was so basically, in the initial days, I was like more like applying to any position that was relevant to data science. So I was applying to data analyst, data engineer, junior machine learning expert, or some like that. And then whenever there was like a rejection, so some of the rejection that happened was because, like, my analysis was like not matching their result, okay, or somewhere, like, I was not able to, like, perform my analysis in a proper way. So these were like the some kind of feedbacks that I got. And some also suggested, like, you lack of some kind of the tools that we use internally. So those like feedbacks, like, then made me like aware that, like, they are, so that gave me like a lot of understanding what tools are like there in this job market, okay, what I should do the next to, like, get to the, at least to an interview. So yeah, so those things really helped me over the time.
And in that period, while you were getting rejections, were you continuing to learn and continuing to build projects and improve your resume, or was it mostly keeping it similar?
No, whenever I was getting the rejection, I was like, I was continuing learning my the new skill sets, also like applying. So it was like a parallel process, I would say.
Right.
So not that I stopped my application process, but I was also applying, learning, applying. So it was like like, I was wearing the two hats. One time I was putting a hat of, like, applying for a job. The next day I was, like, learning the things. So it was like a parallel process for me.
So was this more of like, were you doing, you're saying that, okay, Mondays I will apply for jobs and Tuesdays I will learn, or you were doing both continuously at the same time?
So,
What was that split like?
yeah, in Estonia, we don't have many companies who are like hiring for data science. So over the time, I was like also seeing that data science positions were like also like not much. So, but during the time when the data science position, the one which I was interested in, were not there. So I was like devoting more time on my learning rather than, like, waiting for the opportunities to come in and then start doing something. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. So I guess there's a very important learning here for everybody who's listening, that typically how we think about things is, okay, I'm going to do a course, I'm going to do a project, and then for 2 months, I'm just going to apply for jobs. So that is probably not the right approach. What you should be doing is you should always be at least setting aside 30, 40, 50% of your time towards learning while you are also applying for jobs. And the second thing that Nishant also pointed out very correctly is, every time you get a rejection, try to get some feedback. Now, if you have a conversation on email, before that, add people on LinkedIn so that you can pester them a little bit.
Yeah.
You can tell them that I won't bother you, but please tell me what was some feedback. Why did you not shortlist my resume? Or like, if you turned in a coding assignment, what was the problem with the coding assignment? Or if you did not clear the interview, what was the feedback there? So getting feedback is important because it tells you what you need to work on, and then you need to either learn something, you either need to work on a project or something else, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And when you're learning and then you're getting the rejection, that also validates you, like, about your learning, whether you're learning the right manner or you are on the right track. So definitely these things like really plays an important role in this job hunting situations.
Okay, I think that brings us to a good question, which a lot of people have, is how to figure out what to learn and how to figure out if you are making progress, because between no job and job, there is a long period. So how to figure out if you're making progress or if you're moving forward in the right direction?
So if I understood your question correct, then how should I like progress so that I mean I get to like a job in this industry? So well, when you're learning and then you apply for the job, like I said, and you get rejected, then in this process of this rejection and learning, you should make sure you have the right audience. Like you can consult with your peers and ask them about their feedbacks, okay, because that plays also an important role in this situation. And never give up, okay, in this journey. Like it's just a matter of time. You keep applying, and then one day you will have something in your
Right.
bucket. Yeah.
So I guess talking to peers or talking to people who are familiar with the field is probably a very useful thing.
Very useful. Yeah.
Yeah. So in your case, I remember that we started talking about 6 months ago. So can you share a little bit about what that experience was like?
Sure.
Because,
So
yeah.
initially, when I started my journey, I had no mentor, okay, in this field. So one thing I really wanted was to have a mentor, who can guide me in this process, because someone who has experience in this field will definitely fast forward your journey a little bit. Not, I mean, for me it was like a really high pace. For someone it can be also like small short pace forward, okay, but for me it really worked. And then what I did was like I enrolled myself to Jovian mentorship program, and then I from time to time I was pinging you for help, like try to evaluate my CV, what is lacking. I'm getting rejections. And then you gave me important tips, and then over the time I improved my CV, did some added more projects into my resume, and that helped me a lot. Then and then eventually I saw the change happening, okay. From the rejection I started getting to the interviews, okay, first interview, second interviews, and then over the time I don't know, in a week I was scheduled for 6-7 interviews, okay, and I was overwhelmed with that.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have, I guess. And yeah, so I guess the advice here is try to talk to somebody who is familiar with the field. This could be maybe if you have some friends who are already working in that role, or maybe if you can connect with somebody on LinkedIn, or what we have on Jovian. Earlier we used to call it the Jovian mentorship program. Now we call it Jovian Pro. So the basic idea is that you can talk to us whenever you want to. You can book a 15-minute, 20-minute call with us and talk to us. But the whole idea here is talk to your peers and get feedback from them on your resume, on your project, on anything that you do. Sometimes we feel afraid, because we cherish the things that we build. We don't want to hear bad things about them. But the thing is, unless you hear the bad things, you will not be able to fix them. So I think one thing that Nishant, you did really well was asking for feedback, sharing your resume, sharing your projects, and saying that, is this good? Is this bad? What should I change? So I think maybe then I will just jump at this point to some audience questions, because we have quite a few questions in the chat.
Okay.
So I am just going to scroll through the YouTube chat and let me see. Yeah. Okay, let's go one by one. Okay, so the first question is, I am a non-data science background techie with 7 years experience. I would like to move into a data scientist role. Could you elaborate what the career path needs to be followed? So I think to some extent you've already covered that, but maybe if you can, if you can just answer one, is it possible? Because a lot of people have this question, if it is possible.
So if I got it right, the person doesn't belong to a tech side, or
no, they have a 7 years experience in tech. In tech itself, they have 7 years experience in tech.
Okay. So since you already you have put your feet into the IT, okay, I suppose then it's just a matter of time. You just make it more forward, and then take small courses over the Jovian platform or Coursera, and then you will see you will be interested into this field, and probably you will land yourself into the a data scientist position or whatever position you are aiming for, right?
Yeah, I think as just as Nishant has shared his journey, you can learn part time. You don't have to quit your job.
Yeah.
Focus on building projects, and maybe just look at which role you want to target exactly. The good starting point is a data analyst, a data engineer role, a machine learning engineer role, junior roles. So obviously, when you are making a career switch into a new domain, you have to start from the right role, right? And yeah, and keep at it, and don't give up, and keep improving, keep getting feedback, and it should work out.
And one thing I can add over here, like whatever the role you are interested in, just go to the LinkedIn, search about like this role on the LinkedIn, okay, and you will get like a lot of people who have gone who are like really on this role, and you can scan their profile, see what courses they have taken, what kind of certification they have gained, okay, and that will be like eye opener for you, and then things
That's
will be
very
like really
interesting.
in your hand then.
Yeah, that's a good trick to
Yeah,
figure out people who have been successful, and try and replicate some of
at
their.
least I used to do that, okay, and
Okay.
I most of the certification that I did was like upon scanning the LinkedIn profile, and then go to the classcentral.com, okay, that's a really good platform to like check which courses are like really in demand. These you have like a lot of ample resources on the internet. Search over the Google, the small search, okay, and that will like be eye opener for you, and you can like learn a lot of things from there.
Right. Yep. Um, okay. There's one question about Estonia. Are there many machine learning jobs in Estonia, or did you have to look for remote jobs or jobs outside? So, what was this specific criteria in your case?
For me, I was looking for, I was not aiming for remote jobs, but I was looking more like a full-time job with an on-site opportunity. So the second part of the question, machine learning jobs, yes, Estonia is famous for the startup culture. So we have many startup companies who are like working in the Bitcoins, okay, blockchain and data, and so if you're not familiar with Skype was born in Estonia, so we have a big office of Microsoft here, so who are always like hiring for data engineer. Solita is also the second most the employer of who's like extensively like hiring for data engineer. So yes, Estonia is opening its door in the data machine learning and data science.
Great. Yeah, it's great to hear about so much happening in Estonia. And I guess in general, wherever there are tech jobs, machine learning and data science and data engineering jobs are slowly popping up because everybody's collecting so much data, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There was a question about somebody being a fresher. How much technical knowledge do they require? I think we've kind of covered that, so I think we can move ahead. Okay, there was a question about this is from a person in Canada. So I was wondering how to start sending my resume and how to prepare for interviews. So let's assume here that this person has done a few data science courses. Maybe they have built a few projects. So what is the next step for them? Where do they send their first resume?
Check the LinkedIn, okay, check the job advertisements on the LinkedIn. Maybe in that area where you are living, okay, you have the local websites where you can like search about the jobs. For me in Estonia, there are applications also like Meet Frank, LinkedIn, okay, so they have like many job advertisements. So search about the job advertisement on LinkedIn or those website, and just apply. I think we lost Akash right now.
Hey, sorry about that. I just had a power outage, pretty unexpected. But
No
sorry, yeah,
problem.
I hope you were able to complete that answer. And maybe I'll
Yes.
just let Vishal take over from here and he can ask the remaining questions.
Sure.
And I'll join back as soon as I figure out the power situation. Yeah,
Sure.
sorry, everyone. Yeah.
No problem.
Hey, sorry about that. I just had a power outage, pretty unexpected. Well, actually, if you can hear me all right, I think I can continue to ask the questions. Maybe I'll
Yes,
just
I
keep
can hear
my...
you well. Yes, I can hear you well.
Perfect. Yeah, we just got some lightning as well, but never mind. Okay, so next question is about interviews. And maybe at that point, we can also just start talking about interviews a little bit. What are some of the core topics you need to be focusing on when preparing for data science and machine learning interviews?
Uh, I can talk about, I cannot talk about the machine learning because I did not go through that track, but I can talk about a little bit about data analyst and data engineering, track. So when you are like, build up your skills in this track, so then check around like some kind of interview websites where you can get the sample interview, how they have what the other candidates have posted. In my scenario, like what I did was like I had like some friends who were already working in this industry, so I scheduled like some mock interviews. I also did a mock interview with you, which kind of like gave me uh, you know understanding whether my skill sets are like at that level or not, or should I improve more, or what should I learn the next. Okay, so try finding these resources around you. Maybe those things can really help you in like preparing the interviews.
Okay, great. So I think what I'm gathering here is that you can look for resources online. There are ample interview questions, interview stories. A lot of people have put up interview videos on YouTube where one person interviews the other. So that's
Yes.
one good place to start. And the second thing is to try and do some mock interviews with your friends or other people and get some frank, open feedback about them, about your interviewing, right? So maybe again, maybe from your personal experience, can you share a few things that you feel you may have improved from the first interview to the last interview?
Yes. Well, I would say like when I started like for the interviews, then my SQL, was my SQL knowledge was not so good. Okay. Well, I was like really proficient in writing the query, but I was not like writing queries which could be like really optimized. So having the interviews validated my this weakness, and then I improved over the time, and then I solved some of the lead code, those SQL questions, and some of other sites which I followed, and then that like got me really good. That prepared me really well for the next interview, because at the end of the day, SQL is considered to be a bread and butter of the data science. So especially the data engineering part, if I say, yeah.
Yep.
So these things really helped me, and then I improved from there.
Great. So I guess the common theme here is that you have done a lot of critical reflection after every experience, whether it is completing a project or it is applying for a job or getting an interview. And just to give a sense of how many applications did you have to do, or how many places you have to interview with, again, just to sort of set expectations, because often a lot of people apply to 3 or 4 places, And when they get rejections, or maybe they get an interview and don't get selected, a lot of people feel that maybe this is not for me. Do you think that 3 or 4 is a good number, or do you think that people should keep going?
Well, it's really hard to like comment on a number, but I would say you should keep going until you like land to a job which you like it. So for me, like I would say I had applied at least to like 30 to 35 positions
Right.
in this area, and then from there, like I got at least to like 12 or 13 positions, which I reached an interview stage.
Okay, well, that's actually, if you ask me, I think that's a very good conversion rate, because from people that I've talked to, typically what I hear is today you need to apply for at least like 100 plus positions, and with each position, as you get some feedback or you hear about it, you keep improving your resume, you keep improving your projects, etc., and then you start getting interviews, and again you have to interview with a lot of companies. So I think one thing that I just want to share with everyone is that it's a definitely going to be a longer process, and obviously there will be, all of them will be rejections except the last one. So do not feel demotivated by the rejections. Take it in a positive stride. It is simply telling you that you either need to learn something more, you either need to improve yourself, or maybe just work on a specific area. And once you work on a specific area and come back, then you will get through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I see a few more questions. How were you getting data sets for the projects that you were building?
Well, I had most of the data set I pulled was like from the Kaggle, which was really enough for me to like explore. But there are many other resources. I think we Jovian have one session where they have covered what are the different data sources you can like pull the data from. Maybe you can check that video, and you can have some more data sets to like explore. But for me,
Great.
Kaggle was more than enough. I did not try any other data set, data resource. So
Yeah, I guess I would completely agree there. I think Kaggle has a great selection of data sets, and it's growing every day. People are contributing. So that also brings me to another related question, which some people have asked, that in a lot of courses, there are these standard projects, and nowadays there are also these tutorials where there is a code along of a specific project. What would you say of putting such things, standard things on your resume versus putting something more unique? Do you think that has a big impact?
yes and no. Well, if you are like moving the data scientist role, okay, definitely nowadays you cannot like say that I have like created a model from the Titanic data set, or some data set which is like used for learning phase. But those data set, when you start working on, then you start like building your knowledge on the top of it. Okay, so I would say, no, I mean, depends, like if you are comfortable, if you have done something extraordinary which you would like to reflect during the in the interview, put it. There's nothing wrong in that, but try to explore like new data sets, or try doing something which is like a relevant in the market, or maybe something which you really like about. Like I explored one data set which is about the Indian cuisine, which is available on Kaggle. So one of the recruiter asked me like, what got you interested in the Indian cuisine? I said like, I love cooking, so that's why I explored the Indian cuisine. I just wanted to like validate if my understanding about Indian cuisine is the same what I infer from the result that I have like visualize. So it is totally on you, like whatever you are confident on it, okay, just put it on the resume, and maybe over the time when you are getting into the interviews, you will validate if it was a right decision or a wrong decision.
Okay, great. So I think one thing that you suggested there was use the standard data sets to learn, because they're obviously going to help you learn. But for projects, try and find something unique, something that is very interesting to you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes complete sense. And now there are so many different places to find great data sets. So there's no excuse for saying that if you have a certain topic in mind, it's quite likely that you will find a project. And I think that one related question here was, what were some of the projects that you worked on? Can you maybe recall the most interesting ones? This one you just mentioned was about Indian
Yeah.
cuisine, but maybe a few others too.
Initially, so what I had worked was one of the data set that I had worked, which had large number of rows and column, was like this Beijing PM, air quality. And then second data set which I remember was which got me some of the likes on the Jovian, was this COVID data set which I had pulled from the Kaggle. Yeah, some of the data set which I had worked were which were kind of unique in the sense they were really into the they were more in the quite unique, and then they were new. So I tried to explore something which was not been explored so much. And yeah,
So something new, something unique, something
something
topical,
which
something
makes you
relevant.
interested. And yeah, then second third some of the project that I did, one project was I did was I created a Python scrapper where I did where I had scrapped the real estate website of Estonia. So my objective was to get the data of the real estate in Estonia, and then compare and visualize. And happily, I would say I was applying to the jobs, and one of the recruiter asked me this is really good insight about the real estate market in Estonia. So you never know, some of the data set which you have explored might also raise eyebrows of recruiters, so they might also be interested to know more on that subject.
Great. Yeah, that's very interesting to hear. I think one related question that I have is, how were you presenting your projects, or when you were putting them up online? Was it primarily just the code that you were putting up, or what did you do to make sure that this project, when did you say that this project is now complete and I can put it out there?
So I learned from your presentations, okay, and whenever I saw that you were presenting your Jupyter notebook, everything was really documented well. So there was no question of going anywhere else except that Jupyter notebook. So I followed the same strategy. So whenever I was creating the project, I was doing the project, I made sure I jot down most of the things in the Jupyter notebook so that the person who's reading doesn't have to go anywhere else to find the things. So then I didn't do. So one thing I regret, I didn't do the blog post, but maybe in future when I do some more projects, I will also create a blog post. So definitely creating a blog post is also really helpful. And if you can do that, absolutely, that will be really helpful for you to excel in that interview sessions.
Great. Yeah. So I think what you're saying is that documenting your projects well and making sure that it's an interesting thing to read is a very important part of just making it public, right?
Yeah.
And what would you say, let's say, to somebody who has never done any documentation, or has never written a blog post, is maybe feeling unsure about this, that they know they've done the coding, they have the results. What would you say to them? What should, how to overcome that initial hurdle? Maybe, I don't know if you faced it yourself or not initially, but a lot of people do go through this.
Doesn't matter, even if you are not, even if you are not familiar with the writing a blog post, just write one. So if you start now, probably by the end of the month or something, you will be really comfortable on. It's just a matter of your you starting something. So I mean, just write a small blog post. It doesn't have to be many pages. It can be just one page. You just put in like the most important points, and that's it. Like it can also be like a bullet points, doesn't matter, but at least you started something, that matters a lot.
Great, great. Yeah, I think that's great advice that getting something finished, just putting something out there, that is far more important than crafting the most perfect thing. And you just get better each time.
True.
Great. Okay. I see. Okay, now there's one question about just time, that if you're working full time, and I know that you at the moment do not have a family as far as I'm aware, but if you're working full time and you also have family, etc., I guess the general question is, how do you take time out? Because everybody ultimately is busy, whatever stage of life they're in. There are different things that come up, there are different things that are always there. So how do you make time out of your schedule?
One thing over the air, I would say, I have a family. I'm,
Oh, you do?
yeah. So I can really understand that person. It's really difficult managing the time with the family, and plus, if you have a full-time job, it becomes really tedious. But just like even if you from this 24 hours, if you can just like take out 1 hour and make it like a discipline, okay, that every 1 hour, like in a day, you will like sit and do something in the data science, or you will like try to explore something in the in this field. Probably over the time, like you will see like you have gained and substantial knowledge, and that will like make you like really proud. I did the same. So I followed a strict discipline, okay, that after the work, like some rest, okay, I will like sit at least 2-3 hours or something around that, okay, and I will work on my projects that I have been like doing the previous day. And so that kept me going. So, and if you have some kind of motivation, that will also be really helpful.
Great. That's wonderful. Well, with all the work that you were putting in, I somehow automatically assume that you're able to do it, without, because you probably do not have a family at this point. But I now have all the more respect knowing that you were doing all this while still having a family and managing things.
Yeah,
But
it is really tedious, and I can imagine how it can be for that person. Yeah.
okay, okay. I think one last question we'll probably touch on is just any general advice that you would like to share with people who are on this path. I know you've shared a lot already, but primarily, I think one of the biggest challenges is of motivation for a lot of people. So, any general advice that you would like to share
Sure,
about that?
I can give some advices which had helped me. Probably I will be like reiterating, but maybe it will be really also helpful to like uh, to jot it down if you can. One advice I would say, like most of the time, like I see many students like who are in the initial phases, they are in a hurry to complete the online courses, and then they want to like complete 10 different courses in 1 month. I would say don't do that, okay. Rather than give yourself time to like absorb the fundamentals. So that is more important, because in the interview question, they don't ask you so many complicated things. They really stress on the fundamentals. If you are clear with the fundamentals, definitely you can like you can conquer anything. Like so focus on your fundamentals, okay. And then just like watching the 10-minute video or 20-minute video or some completing the courses doesn't give you a substantial knowledge in that particular technology. Rather than bring in a habit of reading the documentation, okay. Try teaching you the try teaching yourself from the documentation what the technology has produced, because all of these technologies like pandas, seaborn, they have rich documentation. Read through that whenever you find time, okay. Rather than going through some kind of a 5-minute video, just devote some time on like reading the documentation, learn from the documentation. That would be really helpful for in the longer run. And then like I said before, try focusing on building a portfolios, okay. Do some small project which will like help you, and you can like talk about confidently and explain in your interviews. That would be really helpful. And yeah, and don't give up in this journey, because like you, everybody has like gone through the same phases. Okay. And just keep rowing till you reach to the end of the shore. And yes, schedule your time so that you can manage your family, your work. Okay. So that it doesn't like make you over daunted over the times that you are like putting a lot of stress. So those things can be really helpful. One more, what else could I like say? Focus on your presentation skills, because that matters a lot, because in the interview they do also like want to see how good you are, like explaining your things well, how you are like with the behavioral questions. Try like doing some groundwork on that, so that will really like these tips can be really helpful for you. Yeah, that's all. I mean, but if you have any questions, or if you have like some kind of doubts, reach to me. I will really happy to help you in this journey. And yeah.
Great. I think that's all great advice. I can't think of anything to add to that. Thank you so much, Nishant. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the Jovian community, helping other people out as well. And thank you for doing this AMA with us. I know, I mean, I asked maybe a little bit of a few pushy questions, but thanks a lot for opening us and sharing your entire journey with us.
No
Because
problem, no problem. It was my pleasure to like talk to you and like learn from you. And then and I'm really happy that I'm still part of the Jovian community, and I will be in future, because I have still not like become expert. I'm still in the learning phase. So every day there are always challenges which I reach to you, like to get some advices.
Great. Thanks a lot, Nishant. And I hope this has been really helpful for everybody who has joined. So we'll keep having more of these conversations with people from the Jovian community. I think it is really helpful to just get to know somebody's journey and get motivated, get inspired. So Nishant, you're definitely an inspiration for all of us. And we wish you all the best with your new role as a data engineer at Solita. And we will keep reaching out to you every now and then for more help.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Akash. Thank you so much, Jovian, as well. Yeah, take care, guys. Okay. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Great. All right. Thanks, Nishant. Take care. Take care, everyone. It was nice talking to you all. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to post them on the YouTube comments, and we'll make sure that we pass it on to Nishant. And do come back. We are having these conversations or a workshop every other week, so do subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And yeah, we will see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.